All right, where are we at? We are, I think we finished everything from the top. Let's affirm. Let's refresh this. So we'll refresh that. All right, we are going down. Report card is good. We need to do the market, but before that, let's talk to this customer mix right here. All right. All right, now let's insert page break. So if we recall, the active customers on Affirm networks are defined as someone who has had a transaction in the last 12 months. So it doesn't mean they're necessarily active today, as in buying something this month. So let's put a note there. Let's do that at the bottom. Note. I'm gonna shrink this a little bit, put that in the middle. Boom. Let's go back left. All right, so their active consumers do go up. Now, since it's by quarter, you know, you do have to take that in consideration that you're kind of stacking users who, you know, for by year, I think we'd see a different picture. So let's do this. Let's do this. All right, let's do this. Let's take a look, and actually let's note that although it appears consumers who use How are they defining transactions though? Is this the number? Is it the number of payments that they make? So if it's like a pay in four, are those 4 payments each time a transaction, or would the transaction be like, okay, I pay in four for some computer on Amazon, and then I pay in 8 for a bed frame? I don't know. We have to research that, but it is a good sign that although the consumer count is at a yearly cadence, the transactions per consumer are going up. And we're going to put a note. Let's do this. It is whoever's watching. Oh, Guller, what's going on, man? I do buy a little when I research, just so that like I have a reason to continue researching. Also, why I decided to do this, so that I feel like someone's watching. I need to keep doing it. But, dude, I love what I'm seeing. I really do. I think, where is it? I made this visual right here that I think does a very good job. I can go here for you, dude. That I think it does like a really good job explaining like the evolution of the consumer credit. And although the business like appears very consumer loan sharky, it's no different than like when Visa introduced Bank Americard. And if you think about like when the Visa card was first introduced, right? Like consumer credit really wasn't a thing. It was like, oh, here's this credit card. We're going to mass mail it out to 10,000 people. And by the way, now you can use this card to go buy anywhere just with money that you don't really have yet, right? That was like a new concept in the 50s. And now you have this ability to buy products in installments, and you could have dog shit credit. Like it's completely and entirely up to the algorithm that they have, and can you purchase at the time that you're checking out? That's really revolutionary in my opinion. So that alone I think is a reason to even just consider this company. But there are other things like their founder. You take founder-led companies. You take Facebook. You take Tesla. Although Tesla's a little different, but SpaceX, the same stuff. And Max Levchin is, the guru of payments. He co-founded PayPal with Peter Thiel. He's the one who actually kicked Elon out of the company, and he's the one who's heading this. Not only does he head this, but he founded a second company, or multiple companies, right? Yelp, Divvy. He had an incubator. They sold that to Google, and you'll see here, he started to bring over people from Google. And this, at a surface level, from a narrative standpoint, I think what they have is great. Now, obviously, we're going to have to dig into the financials. I'm saving that for later. That's the mundane, it's the boring, but it's, they got a lot. What's going on, Joe? Welcome to the stream, dude. Welcome. All right, so back to this. We need to identify if the transactions are counted on a checkout basis. So like if they buy one product, if that's one transaction, or if it's like the number of installments that you have on your payment plan, if that's considered also a transaction. Okay, let's do this. You are so bad. I think you guys are gonna kick out of this. So like, I trying to like provide insights without like having bias in what I'm writing to be like, oh, you need to buy this, you don't need to buy this, because I don't want to provide recommendations. It's a research. But I do have comments down here that we're using the Pear emoji for. So shout out my dogs. Shout out my dogs at the crib. So this is super. If you guys want to link to this, let me know. But I think this is also something that's super interesting. Is that more than 70% of their customers have higher than 620 credit score. Now, when I first researched this, I was like, oh, they're giving credit to people who shouldn't be having credit, right? That you're probably, they're wanting to buy goods and services that they can't buy on a normal credit card, therefore they're probably putting it on Affirm. But no, they lend a lot to consumers who want to disperse their payments over monthly increments. And again, some of their products aren't charging interest, and a part of their business, which I'm not going to go into right now, they're banking the unbanked, right? They are slowly becoming into a bank and taking on other payment processors like Visa and MasterCard, who themselves are not banks, right? So the second that you introduce these savings accounts and these credit cards to go up against strictly payment networks, you change the game, right? You have this sticking cost that is really hard to pull away from. Each payment you make toward the payment plan is considered a transaction. Are you sure? Are we 100%? Let's look this up. They might not have it online. Transactions represent the Affirm loans that are issued to the end user. So that tells me that it's based on the loan. So I think it's by loan. Each loan is a transaction. Let me see if there's another one. What is an Affirm transaction? All right, these are the APIs. We don't care how they're doing it, but yes, okay, that's exactly what I wanted to know. So, shout out Joey. According to Affirm, a transaction refers to the original purchase itself, meaning the entire loan issued to the customer when they make a purchase using Affirm, not each individual payment. Can you drop the link to that, please? So I can, if it's like in their like documentation. So I'm gonna take this out. So we're gonna say a transaction in this sense is each purchase a consumer makes, and the loan there guarantees. Thus, rising transactions per customer indicates that users are purchasing more products with Affirm. All right. What's the other part of this? 14% growth, 19% ex Returnly. Returnly was a company that I believe they acquired. Yeah. No, they purchased them for $300 million. So they are for returns. That makes sense, Returnly. So they bought a return company, sunset it, and now they're partnering with another firm called Loop Returns. Okay, so over the past year has seen a 19% growth rate in active customers. We'll have to put a note right here. Returnly was they were a returns payment platform that Affirm acquired in, what would it say, 2021? What we got here? Yeah, 2021. That they have since sunset. in a similar manner. Probably because they were realizing it was impacting their bottom line. Now with the partnership, they don't have to do that. We'll put that in the notes. % active consumer growth. In the year. All right, so let's put a note. We need to, let's just copy that. Affirm sunset returnly starting in, when was this published? 2023. So 2023. They have since partnered with, was it Loop Returns? Loop Returns to process their return purchases. I wonder if this is due to All right, so that's done. So I think for the most part, we're all caught up with what we needed to do. So we got to go for key people. We're green there. Product market fit, outstanding. Partnerships, great. Yeah, for those of you joining right now, their partnerships are outstanding, right? You see them, Amazon, Target, Walmart, Verizon. You can have a credit. They have a credit card now that you can get in your Apple Wallet. All within their own network. All competing with Visa and MasterCard. They have a savings account now, and their product offerings just go so well with one another. So we are gonna do. We're gonna do products. No worries, Joe. I believe you. It made sense. I believe you. We are calling this one products. Okay, so this is really like, we need to research what the market looks like and their competitors. I don't want to have to use Capital IQ, but I'll pull it up if we need to. Yo, shout out my dogs, 3 viewers, let's go. Let's go, boys. All right, the market, let's see. Here we go. Oh, woo! wow. So, Affirm is the largest buy now, pay later in the U.S. and Canada, right? They bought, if we go back here, they bought, where's his name? This guy. They bought PayBright, which was the largest buy now, pay later in Canada. And this graph right here is strictly North America buy now, pay later market size. So we can assume that they're going to get a big chunk of that. Yep. Crazy how he's competing with his old company. But I don't think PayPal's well positioned for this. They're not known for that, and they don't have the connections that Affirm has. All right, we need to, let's open another one. BNPL. Oh, this is research. Same thing. That's global. No, that one's. Someone wrote this on Yahoo? That's small. All right. So this one says they're going to have a 24% compound annual growth rate. This one believes it's at 20. So I think consensus, we're going to say it's going to be in the 20s, right? Which is staggering growth, right? This is what I'm talking about, that it's completely changing the consumer credit industry. You are now, because of the way technology is set up and payment processing, when you buy something, it's not processed immediately, right? You have clearing houses. You have to anything on Visa Network. You're not actually sending the money. Visa batches the transactions and then either deposits the money in the merchant's account, let's say after a few days or a week, or a bank account, whatever it may be, right? So you still have that dissonance in finality. Like it's not sending it immediately. I don't think that's a worry here because Affirm is the one who's sending that money. And I think that's another reason that banks want to use them, or banks and merchants, because even if the consumer can't afford it up front, Affirm is still sending the money to the merchant, right? Oh, it's as if they were the ones purchasing the $150 Roomba, right? So the customer gets the good, the merchant gets the money, and then it's between Affirm and the customer to pay off the goods. And then if you don't pay, then they send you to collections and they don't even deal with that. That's not what we want to get into right now. But the fact that they think that this is going to grow at 20% a year is wild. That's staggering growth. That's crazy. So they think that the market is $37 billion right now. And how much did they have on their network? Let's see. They had $7 billion of volume on their network. So a little less than 33%. Yeah. Let's see. Someone has the data for BNPLs. Again, this is 7 billion mainly in America, right? They're expanding to Europe. Their international was really Canada, but they have. We do know Klarna. If any of you guys had read, when I did Block, which is Square, Cash App, they own Afterpay. Klarna is probably the other biggest one, I want market shares though. I don't want. Here we go. This is what we need. All right. So Affirm is third in this sense. I would argue that if you go to the stores, you see Affirm, you're paying with the firm, right? PayPal is for people who mainly have, I mean, you need an Affirm account as well, but we'll talk about how it's different because for PayPal, yeah, they have a PayPal card, but for PayPal, you're paying with your individual credit card or bank account to PayPal to then pay that. Too many hands in the cookie jar. Affirm is one network, one card, one time, right? When was this made? This is old. This is almost a year old. In the US. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna make another one. We are calling this market. So they're saying in 2023 it's 30 billion, 2024 it's 37 billion. What does this one say? This one has the growth rate at 24, but they don't. This is interesting right here. So obviously most of them happen online, but it's actually, if you look at 2020 when it first started, it was almost evenly split where these buy now pay laters were happening at the point of sale. And this is where I think Affirm really is going to succeed because they have those partnerships with Target, with Walmart, and with Apple. And so because they're in the Apple wallet, it can happen at the point of sale. And truth be told, because with a company like this, you think that like it's going to be consumers with either bad credit or with no access to credit or whatever it may be. I think those partnerships could very well work in Affirm's favor because of the stores that they have partnered with, right? Your Walmart, your Amazon. I think they have Best Buy on there. Your large consumer goods as well as your day-to-day groceries and toilet papers and what have you. But we need to write this down. All right, 2023. I'm gonna put this one over here. This is global. So this isn't even the US, this is global. I think one of them had the US. And if it is the US for this one, that's crazy because we know, and if this is 2022, they believe it's 1.6 billion. we know that Affirm's gross merchandise value, the amount that they're using on the transacting, was like $7 billion this year. I really want to know how much of that is domestic. So market value, let's just go this one, global market value. We're gonna make this one that. Global market value, we are at, what do we say, 30.3 billion. Uh, 2024 projection is 37 billion. And we want to do compound annual growth rate. What was it? 20.7%. Number one on the list. It really depends who you read. Millennials, that's us. Woo. We're promoting short-term consumer credit. Let's do it. Wow. The U.S. Federal Reserve reveals that the credit card utilization percent. Mac, shout out. First subscriber, dude. Thank you. I love you, dog. That just made me feel great. Thanks, Mac. The U.S. Federal Reserve data reveals that credit card utilization. Dude, Soto, for real, dude. It's unreal, my guy. Like these are just the big names too, and I didn't even know that Verizon was doing it. I met with one of the I think he was like an AVP of like payments, and we were just talking. He was like, "Oh yeah, we just got Affirm integrated with our payments," and I was like, "Really?" And he was like, "Yeah." And so we started talking about that because, with telecommunications, it's really a good now where people don't cancel that. Like you could be scraping by or something, but if you're trying to find a job or you're at home, you need your internet, you need your cell phone, and so giving people the ability to spread their phone bill in payments is that's game changing for them. So that was also something that I'm like, how is some company like this going to stack up against PayPal? That's how they are making the right partnerships. I mean, you got bookings, you got American Airlines, travel companies, you can take trips and break it up, right? Break up the payments. Shopify, so any online retailer who has a Shopify account or website, right? They can go on and they can use Affirm. It's crazy. It's really crazy. But this is astounding. I didn't know only 20% of people use credit cards. So this is what I'm talking about with banking the unbanked, because if we go back to their products, right? So they have this thing called adaptive checkout, where it's just like an algorithm where it's like, hey, I want to go pay, and on the spot, right when you're at that checkout, this algorithm is going to tell you if you're pre-approved to make that purchase or not, right? Based on your credit score, based on how many times you've used Affirm, how often you pay them back, multitude of things, right? Then they have their interest-free loans, which is you're paying 8, where you can spread out the payments, and as long as you make the payments on time, it is just like buying it the day of now, but now you have it spread out. So instead of saying, hey, here's $200 in February, you can say 50 in February, 50 in March, 50 in April, and it doesn't hurt the wallet as bad in a month, right? The third thing is the Affirm card. This is their credit card, where you can use it online or in person. It's connected to your bank account, but it allows you to convert these transactions into payments within 24 hours. So like you'll pay, you'll buy it, but then it's okay, just because you bought it, it's not taking it right out of your account. So their partnership with Apple to now put this in your Apple Wallet is putting short-term loans into everybody's hands. Like legit, anyone for the most part can go get a loan right now to go buy anything, right? It's just a matter of will you get approved or not. But before, for these purchases, right, you had to either have a credit card or go take out a loan at a bank. But I think the thing that's getting overlooked the most, because it's relatively new, is this Affirm Money account, right? It is their savings account where you can earn high yield, like Marcus by Goldman Sachs, like I think it's Ally Bank, like all these online brokerages or these online banks, they offer these high yield interest rates. So not only is this FDIC insured, but you can put your money with them. So not only do they now have your money, you're earning yield on it, but once you're on the platform, right, you can't give Visa, at least not that I know. Visa's not going to be like, hey, use the Visa savings account, right? They have a Visa cashback card, right? That's through different providers. But once you have your money with them, so once, let's say you're a new user and you're like, oh, my buddy bought shoes at Walmart. I'm going to go onto Affirm and I'm going to create an account. And they're like, thanks for joining and signing up. By the way, why don't you keep your money with us for 4%? Now, if you're someone who's never saved before, that is going to be very enticing, because it's like, hey, why not just put your money here? But then you can use that to pay off what you owe. So they are now banking the unbanked and now having access to demographics that weren't getting touched by credit card companies, by larger banks. If you go to Bank of America or you go to JP Morgan, right, you have a checking or savings account, they're giving you 1%. And because this is all on their own network, they are dictating what goes on. They're not having, hey, Visa, I don't want to pay you that anymore. Hey, I don't know, whoever their banking partners are, right? They can say, look, we have this amount of customers, work with us and we'll work with you, but we're setting the rules here, and that is unmatched. And so when we kind of talk about like what PayPal did and what PayPal's doing, right? Having Max stand PayPal up, get PayPal to a point where he exited, and is now starting this company, not only with someone who he developed Slide with, which they then sold to Google, but he has the knowledge of how to make online payments companies. But now he's competing against a company that he knows the ins and outs of, right? He knows what they're good at. He knows what they're not good at. And again, the hurdle for me was like, okay, how is it investing in a company that's almost loan sharky, right? Like if you miss a payment, are they charging you 20% interest and whatnot? But so far, I'm not getting that vibe, and I honestly am seeing that they're that next prong in the credit consumer cycle, right? From, if we go back right here, right, from face-to-face loan sharks in the early 1900s, right? Then you have store and bank loans where they would extend credit or installment plans to people shopping at their grocery store. Then you had the Bank of America card, which again, nobody thought that would be shit. They just mass mailed credit cards to people who had never heard of consumer credit before. And now you have Affirm where it's like, okay, well, instead of having to give you a credit line of $5,000 and hope that you don't blow it all in one day, these are individual transactions that you're going to. So if they see that, hey, you have $1,000 outstanding and you haven't made a payment, buddy, you ain't getting it. So they're limiting the downside risk. And, you know, as we see in this report, I forgot where I put it, but they then offload that to a third-party credit company, third-party collection agency, who then works with collections. And if they don't, they'll send you to collections. So, yeah, they're really good at mitigating the risk because of the technology that we have now with these algorithms. And for better or for worse, right? Some people might get upset, oh, it's an algorithm, I'm not talking to a person, but it allows them to do these real-time credit scenarios that weren't available before. And I'm sure all these other companies are doing something similar, but they really do have this first mover advantage. And to Soto's point, right, the partnerships are just unreal. Walmart, Target, Amazon, their brand is now in the face of those consumers. And once you're using that, I find it very hard for a consumer to be like, I don't want to use this. Think about your credit card, right? You can open up another credit card and you can close them, but you're not going to say, I'm going to close this card and then go to open this one and use that other one, right? You either have both or you have none. And once they're on this platform, especially because they can earn yield on the platform, all in a phone, it's really revolutionary for short-term consumer credit. I used Affirm to finance all the furniture for Luca's nursery. It's great, dude. Let me know what how that experience went. I haven't used them, but like the interface, like if it's easy, I probably should use it just to see how it works. But I haven't seen anything that seems, hard to grasp. And like, looking at these pictures, right? You either can open it in the Apple Wallet for the card or go to their app. And once you have that platform, it's very simple on Amazon. It's very simple if you go to Walmart to pay. And it's very seamless, right? And they do have a lot of big backers. I think, where was it? It might be in this document. They did have some big names who were some big shareholders. I don't remember where I put it. Here we go. That's not it. So yeah, it's crazy what they've been able to do. Shout out to Voca. Thanks for joining, dude. Thanks for joining. Sad that you're joining right now. We're kind of winding down. I do have my job to get to. I got the laptop open on the side over here. Joe, quick and painless, and they make it normal loans in the sense of the payoff. If you want to pay it off early, they lower the remaining interest balance, so you pay less interest at the end. Also, we did it through the IKEA site as well, though. So you if we go back to the products, right? I knew they did have interest loans, so it wasn't an interest-free loan that you took, or do they only charge the interest when you're late? Can you kind of explain, like, did they give you an option to select what kind of loan you were taking? Quick and painless, and they make it like a normal loan in the sense of the payoff if you want to pay it off early. Yeah, that's what I'm not fully understanding yet. Like, outside of that, the usage and the way that they're making their monies on their gross merchandise value, which is just the amount of money on the network, is insane, right? If you're a merchant, you would much rather pay a percentage to get that money up front than to not get that purchase at all, right? So they're providing a service to these merchants where they can, even if you're a small business, right, you would rather have that cash up front. A large enterprise, it's iffy, but with these partnerships with like Walmart and Amazon, they know a lot of their customers would be making those purchases if they had the ability to, which is why those partnerships are so wild. No, they tack on interest, and you can decide how long it takes. Usually max is like a year, and you can choose how long. So the interest is always there, or the interest is only there if you miss a payment, or if you don't pay? Like, let's say you owe $50 a month. If you only pay like $35, is that what happens? Because if you did the pay in 2 or the pay in 4, it should be interest free. Gotcha. So you're paying partial interest. Oh, gotcha. Okay. So the interest-free loan then is, there's no interest if you're late. Could you clarify that? Did they say that if you missed a payment, it would be more interest? Maybe that's what they mean by interest-free loans. Okay. So if you missed a payment, you wouldn't have to pay extra. I think we're getting somewhere. I think that's what they mean by interest-free. Let's see if we can look this up before I go. Here you go. So this is the breakdown. So if you pay in 4, there is no interest. But it's if you pay in monthly installments that's not pay in 4, then you have to pay interest. Credit impact with loan. So I think that's what it is. Let's see. If you purchase $500, yeah, there you go. That's so. Did you pay in 4 months? Because if not, then I think if you didn't do pay in 2 or pay in 4 or pay in 30, I think that's when the interest comes in based on this. Right? If we have a $500 payment and we pay in 4, there's no interest. 500. But if we do pay in 6 months, so you have the ability to select. Got it. Okay. I'm going to screenshot that. That's very helpful to have. That's super helpful. No, I think that I don't think they charge excess if you're late on a payment. I think that interest, well, let's see. I can't spell delinquent. No, they don't charge late fees. Yeah, okay. Should know that by now. Whoops. All right, Joe, that was super helpful, dude. Longest you do is a year. Yeah, that looks like that might be what's going on. So you might even want to consider you might want to consider doing one of these pay in fours or even pay in 30. You could save yourself the interest and just, you know, you're signing up for a longer duration, but you could save yourself that interest rate. But that is super helpful because now I understand where that interest comes from. So if you are not selecting their pay in 4 or pay in 2. Oh, pay in 30 is in 30 days. Excuse me. So yeah, so if you have to do anything that's longer, that's when you get the interest rate tacked on. Okay, that makes a ton of sense. Well, thanks guys. Thanks for joining. I gotta go do the day job, but every day. At least this week so far, I've been trying to do it regularly, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., except for Tuesday, Wednesday, because I got to go in the office, so I think it's like 8:15, but would love to have you guys on. I like the back and forth. This is why I wanted to do it, because I think there's a lot of information that I don't have. I can't research all at once, and just bouncing the ideas off of people, and I genuinely want a community, like a Discord. But that kind of gets hectic. So let me know what you think. But no, I really appreciate you guys for joining. And shout out Mac, my dog, first subscriber, big sub. Thanks guys. Happy Friday too. Shout out my dog Luca at the crib.